Hey, welcome to Tough Guys. On this episode, we've got ourselves a Honeywell T5 smart thermostat, and we're just gonna go through the process of opening it up and getting it installed, kind of step by step. And take a look, we got some shirts, so we might put out kind of a little feelers, see if you guys might be interested in buying some shirts or some tumblers. We asked about that recently as well, so stay tuned for that. Let's get into doing this. Okay, we've got the Honeywell T5 smart thermostat. So opening it up, you've got your quick install guide, kind of the instructions. Inside the package here, we've got the unit itself. It looks like you've got some serial numbers there. May want to take note of that stuff. Lift here, that's for the optional C-wire power adapter. Got this guy. And this is where all your wires will plug in. It's the UWP mounting system. Screws and wall anchor. So it comes with some screws there for you. Not too shabby. And up in here, there's some more instructions. And that's for the C-wire adapter. So what we're gonna do is, I'm gonna review this really fast, kind of get a hold of what we're gonna need, and then we'll kind of dive into the instructions a bit more. So inside the instructions, when you open this up, they do give you a little label kit to label the wires that you do have inside the wall. And there's kind of a quick diagram overview, and that's assuming you're using that C-wire adapter. Basically, it gives you a quick overview of what's inside. And here's where we're gonna start. We're just gonna start by turning off the power, checking the system to make sure that it's off, and then we'll come back to this. Here we go inside the panel. We've got 23 and 21. That's the one that we need to shut off. And in our panel, that's gonna be this right here, 23 and 21 is what they've got it marked as, but it looks like it's gonna be that guy and that one as well. Okay, back at the Honeywell that we already have. This unit is now off, and we've got the breakers turned off as you guys just saw. So now we're gonna get this thing off the wall. So it looks like this battery compartment came out of the side of it, and I'm assuming this would be for if the power went out, this unit could stay on. And I just kind of pulled it forward and then pulled it off the wall. All right, I wanted to get you guys a little bit closer to see here with what we've got going on. So we've got, it looks like a green, blue, white, yellow, and red wire. And then these are also marked on the actual unit itself. The next step in the instructions is basically telling me to record if I have wires based on what we see here. I do have an R. I have a red wire. So I'm just gonna mark that down. And now it wants me to write down the color of the wires. I'm gonna go ahead and check these really fast, and then I'm gonna fill this in. Okay, here's what I had marked. I had a G with green, C was with blue, and W is with white. And on note here, it says C step 9. So jumping to step 9, it says, do you see a wire connected to the C terminal? If yes, then skip to step 10. So I do, so I'm gonna jump down to 10. Disconnect the wires and remove the old plate. Okay, so we're gonna start getting these disconnected per the instructions. I've got my little tiny screwdriver set out here. It looks like I'm gonna need that 2mm or maybe even the 1.4. Let's try which one, I'll let you know. I'm trying the 2mm first, and we'll see if we can get that disconnected. And the 2 works beautifully. Now I'm going to unscrew the Phillips screws that are connecting the plate to the wall and remove that. For this, we've got the Klein Tools 11-way, and I've got it with a number 2 tip. There's one out, and number 2. That out of there, and the wire should be free, and there we go. All right, after removing the wall plate, this is what we're left with. We've got the wires here, and remember, we marked those down in the instruction guide itself, so no questions on what those are. The next step shows kind of an overview here of the order in which you're putting things on, so we're just going to follow this right down. And here is the new mounting bracket. This front piece just kind of pulls down forward, and it lets you know the distance of the exposed wire, and it looks like we're just going to be punching those right into the face. So we're going to feed these through the opening in the mounting bracket, and it looks like that's going to mount pretty clean on the wall here as well. And for this I am using the cordless screw gun. There we go. All right, so that is now secured to the wall, and we've got all of our wires ready to go. All right, per my instructions, I only had one wire on the R channel, and it says to set this in up position. So this little switch goes up and down. So depending on what you answered for that question, in my case, I had one red wire going to R, I would bring this up according to the instructions. And the first wire it wants me to insert is my R wire. And it looks like this little tab popped out once this was satisfied with the distance in that I pushed the wire. So that's kind of a good indicator to know that you've got this thing how it should be. All right, I'm gonna continue right along, getting the rest of the wires inserted. The instructions at this point just have me putting these directly in. So I'm gonna do the yellow wire, which in my case, I would feel like I was pretty lucky. Everything seemed to just be color coded, other than the blue wire. The blue wire was on C, but I guess if you're a cyan type of person, that's kind of blue. So G was green, and these push in relatively easy. I'm not having to shove real hard, but there is a tactile feeling of it locking in place when that little tab pops out. You do feel that kind of engage. So if you give the wire a little bit of a tug, then you know that it's secured in place. Blue is good. Green is good. White is good. And red is good. So I'm just gonna kind of try to get this slack back a little bit. Last step is to just simply close the door. That closed right up nice. And then here's the unit itself. And it looks like on the back, again, I'll show that, you've got all those teeth. So those teeth are what goes into these teeth across the front of this guy here. So it says the next step is to just plug this guy in. I did not have to shove that very hard. It went on super easy, and it feels mounted really well to the wall now. So now we'll take this front piece off. So satisfying. Okay, so I've got the power turned back on at the breaker box, and as you can see, it just says start setup. So we're gonna follow that. So in order to go, you just touch start. Okay, the next step is it's asking us if we want to use Honeywell Home App in order to complete the configuration, and we actually do. So I'm going to download the app now and show you how that process happens. All right, the first thing we need to do is launch the App Store, and this of course is the iOS App Store. So you're going to search for Honeywell Home to find the correct application that you need to download onto your device. Now keep in mind this may be slightly different for Android. We're using iOS. So now that that app is downloading, it's going to click out to our home screen here, and when it's done, we're going to launch the app. And it is going to need to get some initial data from you, so go ahead and click OK. All right, we've got the app downloaded, so we're going to click yes to continue. All right, so now we need to create our account, and you're going to put your information in here to move to the next step. It's going to need your location, so select yes. And there's the activation email. You click that, it will let you know that it's confirmed. Now we're back to the app. It's going to need notifications if you want it to work properly. Now you're going to select the thermostat unit that you have. As you can see, there were several options there. Follow the instructions here. It's going to ask a few questions. Now our unit was actually displaying a message on the screen, so we went ahead and moved forward. Now you want to connect it to your Wi-Fi system. Everybody has their own name. If you've set it up easy for yourself, then this part's actually pretty easy. All right, now that we've filled out the necessary information inside the app, it is saying that it is connected, and it is showing the Wi-Fi symbol up in the top corner to also signal that fact. So now we're waiting here to complete it on the tablet. All right, now if you want to do geofencing or any of these other extra features, you can set those up at your own leisure, but they're not required to get the unit actually working. And here's your congratulations message telling you that everything is good to go. And before you continue, it may want you to set up a passcode on your device. Here it's telling us that everything was good. Now you're going to name the device. You can use a custom name or select from what they've given you. And then it's going to register. And then it's going to ask you some questions about your system. For us, I just went with the most common answers here because I actually don't know if it's something different. I assume I could probably change this stuff later in the settings if I had problems with my setup. But for us, I just selected most common and everything was fine. I let it know that it's at home, and then put your zip code in, and then it's going to configure. All right, so now it's displaying a PIN code that we have to enter into the tablet. And it is all good, ready to go. Time to test it out and make sure it's all working. It is really difficult to get. This thing is such a mirror. You kind of see me there recording. This thing has such a mirror finish, it's kind of hard to record it. But I just want to test this out to make sure. So we can click on mode. We've got on heat. Let's lower this down. And we'll just permanent hold that. We'll dig into the app a little bit more for the settings. But overall, I'm really happy with the way it looks. The install was super easy so far. And we got the app set up as well in a GIF. So obviously we can set that up on any of our mobile devices, and I'm sure you can even manage it from your computer if you wanted to. I actually turned on the cool mode, and I turned the fan to on just to kind of make sure, and hopefully you guys can hear that, but it did kick on. So I'm confident that everything is working both on the heat and the cool side. So fingers crossed. Well, all right, that was actually pretty easy. Not tough at all. Just followed the instructions and got it installed pretty fast. So if you're running any trouble, there's a ton of other creators out there that have really good videos as well. There may be something that's specific to your home that didn't happen with our install. So keep that in mind. We didn't have that C-wire issue. So there could be a lot of things with this that make it a more difficult install. The best thing you can do is just take your time. Don't rush through it. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you really like our video, you like our instruction, you like me, consider subscribing. It really helps us out and helps us grow what we're trying to do here at Tough Guys. And if you're interested in a shirt or a tumbler or something, let me know in the comments. We might try to run a contest or something on Instagram, so check us out there as well, just at Tough Guys TV. So anyways, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next project.